Alright, this is Mr. Lease. Take whatever. This is actually something about sampling design and methods and taking samples. And basically, one of the things that gives us the most accurate type of information that we can, because we go to each and every person and talk to them, is something called the census. So the census is basically getting information from every single person in the United States or in a group. That's talking to everyone. Now, the only problem with the census is that it's very expensive. So because it's very expensive, we can't just go ahead and just do a census on anybody just to go ahead and find out if they like a bag of chips. So we have to do something called sampling. This is cheaper alternative to the census. This is different from a census because the census gets information from every single person. So we do something called samples. We take samples. So there's a couple of different types of sampling methods. So one of the first one is something called simple random sampling. It's a lot cheaper than doing a census. So we just do a sample. So this is a simpler way of doing this, okay? Simple random sampler. First, you have to get either names of people or numbers. Assign people numbers. So say 0 to 100 or 0 to 99. That's 100 people. So with the names, you can go, or the numbers, you can put them in a hat and just go ahead and select them from the people from the hat. You just get them, and that's part of what we're going to call as our sample. So that's simple random. You can get people from a hat. Then you can go ahead and use a random number generator to go ahead and produce random numbers. They'll go ahead and select your numbers at random. So on these calculators, the TI-84, TI-83s also have it, is something called random number generator. So we want to pick number 5, that stands for random int. And basically you go ahead and put in your beginning numbers. So say for instance we numbered people from 1 to 50. Our first number is number 1, comma, all the way to the last number, which is 50. And say for instance we need to pick 5 different people. So when we pick 5 different people, we can actually tell the calculator to pick 5 different people. That's what that third number stands for. Just push enter, and there it gives us 5 different random numbers. Now, this is an algorithm. Of course, whatever, I'm going to go ahead and just say this. Calculators are not 100% random, so there might be something else that we have to do to go ahead and get the randomization. If you don't put that last number 5 right here, and just go ahead and put these, it'll still work. It'll just do it once. So you don't need, it defaults to 1. So with simple random sampling, you either put names inside a hat, but you need the list. You need a list of names. You need a list of people. That's really important. Without that, you don't have simple random sampling with most of these techniques. So that's what you do. The next one is something called stratified random sampling. So on this one, instead of going ahead, we're going to go ahead and take the people that we have and separate them into demographics. When you separate someone into demographics, you go ahead and separate them based on something that they have in common with some other people. Say, for instance, we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. That's a demographic, or that's a strata. So we're stratifying them. We separate them into their different groups. Another type of thing would be male, female. Another thing for the strata would be, I don't know, how much they earn, how old. You know, it goes on from there. So what you do with this, you separate them into the different demographics or strata. Then you choose a few at random. Now, that you could use any of the techniques from the last one to do that, but you choose a few out of there, not the entire group. Okay, choose a few at random. Whoops. And so something like this. Well, we have the freshman class. We're going to go ahead and pick this person, that one, and then this one. This one, that for the sophomores. Yay, you get those people. And just to be lazy, I'm just going to go like that. Okay, so I'm picking them at random. The next type will be something called systematic. Systematic, you have to assign people numbers. You have to assign them a number. So in this one, you take the participants, you assign everybody a number. So there's 25 people. I assign them 1 through 25. Then you break them up into smaller groups. So I'm going to break this up into groups of 5. After you break them up into groups of 5, you take the calculator or a random number generator and pick one of these people at random. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Random int. Change this from 5 to 0 because I'm just doing it for the first 5. Push enter. So that's 1. I don't really like using 1. Okay, 3. 3 is a better number because you know what? This is better explained with 1. That's the reason why I don't want to use 1. This is not an actual experiment. This is just an example. So understand that. So we pick number 3. Now, we go by the number of people in the group. They were groups of 5. So now I'm going to pick every 5th person because they're in groups of 5. So it's one person from every group by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This person, this one, this, and this one. So every 5th person. And so this works out. If we go ahead and go by the group, if we break them up into groups of 50, that would be every 50th person. So we pick them by every nth. So first you go ahead and find someone at random from here, and then you move on from there. Okay, so that's systematic sampling. Now, this one is not too tough, but I want you to understand something. This one right here is something we call cluster sampling. Now, cluster sampling is when you go ahead and take a group of people. You're going to take this group of people and you break them up into groups. Now, it's not like the stratification because we want these groups to be varied. So we're going to break them up into groups inside classrooms. So if you go to each one of these classrooms, this is classroom 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, and they have students. So when we go ahead and pick a group at random, we pick the room, and whoever in the room gets chosen. So we take them as a bunch. So that's why we call this cluster. So it's like taking room 146, so everyone gets sampled in that one. Room 144, everyone gets sampled there. And what the heck, 143, my room, gets completely sampled too. So these 3 rooms, the people in them get sampled. And so that's what we mean by cluster sampling. The next one, or the final one that we're going to be studying, is something called convenience. There is no list. There is no numbering people. There is no demographics. No nothing. There's no grouping. So this is just choosing people at random as they walk by. Okay, I'm standing outside my door, and I'm going to choose the first 5 people that come in. They're going to be taking a survey. That's it. So they just choosing people at your convenience. And that's it. I mean, those are the ones that we're going to do. So, and one more thing I want to go ahead and show you before I forget is this. This is a random number table. Now, if we're doing this for 100 people, there's 2 zeros and 100. Whoa. Can't see that? Okay. So, if we're doing this for 100 people, we're going to go ahead and sample from 100 people, 10 people at random, or 5 people or 4. And since there are 2 zeros, we're going to start from 0, 0 all the way to 99. So that means that we choose these 2 numbers. So the first number is 24, then 23, 83. That's how a random number table works. You can work it from here or go to the next one, but all you need to do is group the numbers by the number of digits that we're using. Another one, if we're using 1,000, there's 3 zeros in 1,000, so we're going to start from 0, 0, 0 and work all the way up to 999. And so now we go ahead and go by 3s. So we can start right here, 3, 3, 3, 3. So 724, 152, 579 and 108 will be chosen for this. So that's how this works. It's very simple, very easy. You don't need to worry about it too much. All right. So I just wanted to show you this so there's different choices to go ahead and choose these. And that's about it. I'll talk to you guys later.